Hey folks, so I'm going to attempt to do some sort of video to try and document the issue that I reported in the Proffie Board support group. This video is probably going to be a little bit long because I want to be very specific about what steps I've taken and what I've tested and what I haven't tested. So just to start out with, a lot of folks have mentioned that they think the issue might be with the config. So I just want to reiterate, as is shown in the actual error message, the config compiles perfectly fine. It's not an issue with the config. At least I'm pretty sure it isn't. The other reason I say that is because that same config I put on a second LGT Saber. This one. This is the one that's having the issue. I put it on a second LGT core with no problem.
Hello. Google here.
No problem. Which is also on Proffie OS 6.7. So what I've got is I've got a split screen here, and in this upper screen is going to be where I do the flashing and uploading, so you can see how the error goes. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an example of the upload and the working, right? So these are both one-button Proffie LGT cores. This is the one I purchased from VirusSabers on their May 4th sale. So this is so, you know, it's going to be a very similar core. I don't know, I don't know how to tell if they're made, if cores are made like in the same batch. I don't know how to tell that. I can only tell you that I purchased these two cores about 2 weeks apart. All right, so pop the battery out. And then I'm going to hand it in the cable. Come on, camera, come back to me. Okay. So, handed in a cable here, just plugged it into my computer. Okay. So now on the upper screen, you see I've got my, that's my grayscale config. That's this config in question. You can also see I'm in my Proffie OS 6.7 folder in Proffie OS. And here's my Arduino. Launch that. Now I'm hoping the fact that I've got this video running doesn't slow it down too much. So because I have two, it launches both of them. This is the 5.9. This is the 6.7. So I just close this because I'm not going to use it. and I can tell which one is which by the configs that I have defined in there. So this is my 6.7 Arduino. As you can see, I've got my grayscale here defined. No other configs are defined. Enter tools. This is my board. Now this is the LGT core that works. This is not the one that I reported the problem with. This is the one that I knew worked, that I wanted to test as well, to rule out an issue with the OS, or to rule out an issue with the config. So this is my control test. Okay. So you can see. So now I'm going to do the upload. Now, one of the things I did notice in the difference between these two cores is that the core that uploads fine, I noticed that the time it takes to do the upload, as it ticks up through the percentages, on the one that works, it happens in a time duration that seems consistent with all of my other uploads with other sabers, with other boards. The one that breaks, or that shows me the error getting download problem, and you all might be able to see this in the video, hopefully, is that the percentage, the percentage, what's the word I'm looking for? As it moves through the percentage complete, it seems to move through it really fast. So you'll notice here, it goes, it's doing about, you notice it's going 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It's moving at a normal clip. This is the clip I'm used to seeing it move through. You'll notice with the one that I reported an issue with, that the download speed actually happens a little bit faster, and I don't know if that is related to why the issue is happening. I just figured it's worth mentioning. So this upload's almost done. And so while that's doing, actually, what I should do is get this one ready, because this one was so that finished just fine. And this one had the this is the one that doesn't work, has the ProffieCore with the RCP, so you put a longer retention screw through the back to push the buttons up. So that's why I'm just taking this out now, so I can get the core ready to do its upload to show you. So I'm just going to push it out the back using my blade. Okay, so this is the problem guy. Let's video down a little bit. All right, so first one is complete. The SD card is remounted. So I'm gonna so there's my SD card in the first one. Then I'm gonna eject it. Unplug it. Okay. battery back in. I don't know if some people are used to removing batteries when they do this or not. I like to not be confused about where the board is getting its power source from at the time that I'm doing these changes. So I just like to make sure that there's only a single power source. So I like to remove batteries when I do this upload work directly to my computer. Also, so I know that if there's an issue with power getting to the board, I don't have to try and figure out whether it's an issue with the battery or an issue with the connection from the laptop. All right, so config's up.
Hello, Zuko here.
Okay, so I have put the config that I posted on the ProffieBoard support group when I reported this error. That config I've put on the second LgtProffieCore Saber, and it's working. And I just showed you the upload. So now let me hook it up to the core that I first reported the issue with and show you how it behaves. Pop out the battery. Now I should say I did get it to flash once, but it failed after that multiple times. So I should say the problem doesn't happen 100% of the time. It's like it's happening 90% of the time. That's part of the challenge in testing this, is that the issue is intermittent. So, you know, that I think needs to be clarified. So let me get set up here. Okay. So the board is not in the board right now is in standard. It's in a standard mode. It's not stuck in DFU mode at the moment. Okay. I see the SD card mounted. So I'm going to go up here under Arduino. ProffieBoard's recognized. Okay. Now, when I start the upload, take note of how fast the percentage done goes in comparison to the first one. It's still compiling the sketch. This is the same config, exact same. And this is a config of grayscale fonts, just blade styles I put to grayscale fonts, set for one button, one blade Saber, and it's using the SA22 button setup. And I'm also using stocks define to turn on gesture controls on that config. I should also note that between the time that I posted that config to Pastebin in the original post that I made, I've not made any changes to that config between then and now. So the config's the exact same. Let's expand the screen a little bit here. Boom, fails right away. So we don't even get, it just fails right at 0%. bytes DFU, util, error during download, get status. Okay. So, but you do notice that the program did compile. All right. I'm going to take Shane Overton, a buddy of mine who posted on my thread, offered a suggestion. He said, "Why don't you take off one preset, get it below 99%, see if you get a different result." So just for shits and giggles, I'll do that. So I am going to edit the config at this point and see if, for any reason, that might change it. I don't expect that it will, but I'm willing to entertain those suggestions. So sure, I'll take out volatile because that's got a fairly large blade style in it. Okay, so I'm gonna take that out. I'm just gonna save it off in this other file, but it's no longer in the config. I'll save it. Back in Arduino. And I'll just verify the config real quick. I'm not going to upload, I'm going to verify it first, just to show you the difference. So the original config compiles at 99%. So we'll see what it compiles at this time. I suspect it'll compile somewhere closer to 97%. So this video is already about 17 minutes in. So I'm hoping I can sort of get through the last two things of what I wanted to show, hopefully in under 25 minutes. It does look like when I run this video software, it slows down Arduino just a little bit. Usually the compiles kick off much, much faster. But I should say that once they do kick off, I'm not seeing a difference in the performance of the application. I'm just seeing a difference in how my computer is allocating resources to each application as it kicks programs off. All right, so it compiled. Now it compiles at 95%. So now what I'm going to do, now you notice that board is not detectable now. So because it failed the upload, the board is still in DFU mode. It's expecting an upload. So it's not going to show up under tools. But let's see what happens if I just hit upload here. Now, if this second upload fails, I'm going to do a boot reset on the board and then try again. Doing a boot reset on the board, we'll still keep the board, if I understand correctly, we'll still keep the board in DFU mode. And after doing a boot reset, I should be able to just go back to upload, click upload, and have it run. But I wouldn't expect a reset on the board to make it appear in the boards in Tools Boards Manager. I would still expect it to not be detectable by Arduino at the app layer. So right now I'm just running a second upload on 6.7. The first one failed. I have not reset the board yet, but if the second upload fails, I will reset the board. Now you guys notice how fast it's going. It's going about twice as fast as a normal upload. Boom. Error during download get status failed at 55%. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I get my handy dandy non-metallic items. So I'm going to use a small, it's like a coffee stirrer that I broke in half. So this is bamboo wood. And then a skewer, which has sort of a nice blunted point. I'm going to do a boot reset. So on this core, that's your boot. That's your boot button. That's your reset. So what you do is you hold down the boot, then you tap the reset button for just a second, and then you release the reset button, and then you release the boot. So it's hold down boot, then hold down reset, lift, boot. Okay? That's the sequence. And if I'm incorrect about that, somebody please let me know, but pretty sure that's the right way to do it. So I gotta wait for here to click so that I know I have it. Okay, boots down. Resets down. Reset lifted. Boot lifted. Okay. So I've now reset this core. Okay. Now I'm going to go and attempt another upload. Now again, after you reset the board, you don't expect it to show up here into the port. The port still can't detect it because it's still in DFU mode, right? But Arduino should still know that it's there. So if you just hit upload, the upload procedure should continue. At least that's my understanding of how these boards work. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually do, if this upload fails, I'm going to do a second test where I'm going to try and upload it on OS 5.9. And we'll see if that fails as well, just as a sort of a secondary test. It's almost done compiling. All right. So now it's reporting a failure, so it doesn't even see it at this point. Okay. So I'm going to try to reset it one more time. Boot. Okay, boot down. Boots down. Reset down, reset up, boot up. Okay, just looking at the serial monitor. I'll copy that error message. Oops. Okay. So, again, compiles 95%, goes to the upload again, and the upload fails with this same error. Error during download get status. This time it errors at 43%. You'll also notice it got to 43% really quickly. So these download speeds that it's doing on this particular board, it's about twice as fast as the speed I see it that I see my other boards flash. Regardless of what kind they are, KR boards, Dark Wolf boards, doesn't matter. I've got like at least 3 different types of boards on most of my other sabers, and they usually download at about half the speed that this one is downloading on. So that is, and the reason I point that out is that that's the one thing that I noticed that's unique about this particular board versus all of my other ones. That's the one thing I notice cosmetically. It might be just a cosmetic thing, I don't know. But that's the one thing I do notice that's different from this board with all of my other boards, is the speed at which it's attempting to download in Arduino. So that's 3 failed attempts to flash this config on ProffieOS 6.7. So for my last thing, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and upload it to this saber using ProffieOS 5.9 and see if I get anything different. So we're going to close this version of Arduino. I'm going to copy this config. I'm going to go in my OS 5.9 folder. My config here. So here it is now in my 5.9 folder. Now I'm going to launch my Arduino out of OS 5.9. And I'm going to do one more boot reset on this board. Okay. Boot down. Reset down, reset up, boot up. Okay. So now I'm going to make sure that it's selected here, and it is. No other configs on my 5.9 Arduino are selected. Here we go. Yeah, unfortunately, this one, I was hoping this wouldn't take longer than 25 minutes, but with this Logitech Brio video capturing software. Everything else on my computer just runs like twice as slow. So I apologize about the time duration, but I wanted to make sure and get all of these different testing aspects sort of recorded in the same movie, so that people see what I've done. So this whole thing that I'm capturing on video now, this is almost precisely what I did yesterday. After I first reported the issue to the Sabre manufacturer that I purchased this from, I went through this whole testing cycle. I had tried one upload, it failed, and then I did one boot reset, and then I tried a second upload, that failed. At that point, that was when I first reported the problem. Then I tried a third upload, and it worked. And then I told the manufacturer guy, I think the problem is solved. Then I tried to go back and do another upload because I made some changes to the config, and then the upload failed again. And then it failed. Then I went through this whole cycle that I've got on video. All right. So I'm uploading on 5.9. No problem. So I've been able to successfully upload this on OS 5.9 twice now. I did it once yesterday, which is why the Sabre was working when I first plugged it in. Was I did get it to upload correctly on 5.9. It's failed 7 times on OS 6.7, and it's succeeded once on OS 6.7. I did get it to work once, but then repeated attempts to upload, as you've just seen. It failed 3 times on OS 6.7 just on this video. I've now gone on OS 5.9 and it works. So at this point, I don't know if it's a problem with the board or if it's a problem with OS 6.7 or some combination of the two. But what I can say is that this board works on both, no problem. I don't have, so that's why I wanted to do this control, to rule out, it being, I think it might be a combination of the two, how the board is interacting with the OSs, but I don't know enough about the inner workings of this code on ProffieBoard and in the OS to be able to make any deeper determinations other than what you see me testing. So, and I don't want to try and interpret deeper than what this data is showing you, because I'm not experienced enough at this to do that. So I can only tell you what I see based on what I'm doing, and I'm sort of taking care to make sure that what I'm doing is the appropriate procedures and how you do them. So that's my data. That's my result. If anybody else has any input on what they think I should test to try and get more helpful results or more conclusive results, or to glean more useful data, please let me know. If you have any suggestions for me about how I should change my environment, try and test something different, please let me know. I should also mention that when I did this test yesterday on OS 5.9, at the end of the day, and it worked, my config was at 99%. I didn't clip the config. So I sort of want to reiterate, I don't think it's a problem with the config. The config itself is fine. So yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Sorry this video is so long, but hopefully it was also informative. All right, take care, guys.